Hi everyone, so this is a video all about markups and how to use them in Civillo and the different things you can do with the markups. So first things first, the markups tab is this one over here, so it's the one just next to the layers. I'm going to click that and that's going to first of all bring me to the markups that are currently existing that I have access to. So I have my markups here, these are the ones that I've created, and I also have these shared markups that were created by someone else but then shared with me. So I can toggle them on and I can zoom to them to see what's going on. I can click on the properties to see who has created it, who's shared it with me, and the activity on the markup. I can edit these markups if I have been shared that permission, and I can duplicate them as well, copy them. I can also download them too, which we'll have a look at later. So what I want to do though, first of all, is create my own markup for this video. So I'm going to click that plus button there. I'm going to have a new markup here. Let's call it traffic staging plans. This is going to be a simple one. I can put a description in if I want, but it's not necessary. So this is going to bring up my markup editor to the right hand side here. Now I'm going to zoom out, and first of all, let's just go through these little icons. First one is the details. So that's that name and description that I've just put, so you can always edit that after you've created the markup. You can put tags on it too, which will make it easier, will make it easier to filter markups later. So maybe I'll put a traffic tag on this. Permissions. Now, I'm the only one who has access to this markup currently, but if I need to share this with a group of users or individual users, then I can do that. For the moment, actually maybe I'll share with, let's say I want to share with site engineers and the group of people who are in that group. I'm going to give them permission to edit the markup as well as view it, because I'm working in a team. And I'm going to share that. So everyone in that group will be notified that this markup has been shared with them, and they'll be able to view and edit the markup in Civillo now, so they can work on it with me. And I'll actually see a little box pop up in the bottom of the screen when they are working on it at the same time as me, and their changes or my changes will be tracked in that activity log, which we can see on the left hand side. You can also see on the left there that we can write comments to each other. So I can say something like markup for traffic staging for next week, just to give them a bit of information about what I'm sharing with them. So the next icon across here, we have markers. So these are just points on the map. In this case, I'm not going to do any points. What I am going to do is geometry, which is the next one across. I am going to draw an area here. I'm going to say this is our area for our first staging in this example. So I'm just going to draw that area there. Now I'm going to modify the appearance of this polygon that I've drawn, this geometry. First of all, I'm going to just make that outline a bit thicker so we can see where it is. I'm going to leave the stroke color as black, but I'm going to change it to yellow, I reckon. Let's do that. So let's save that. So now I've sort of highlighted the area. If I want to actually change, I might want to change the transparency a bit on that. So if I scroll that one up to the right, that should change the transparency so I can still see the aerial imagery underneath it. Now I can write a description here. Let's call this stage 1 maybe. Now let's do a second geometry. So I'm going to click on new geometry there. I'm going to click through here. Let's do this one quickly. And we're going to say this is my stage 2. So I'm going to make that a different color. So the transparency again. Little tip here is if you know the hex colors that you want to use and you want to sort of keep things consistent, you can actually copy and paste the hex colors in here to sort of retain the same colors over and over again if they're not one of these in this sort of pre-selected panel. And we do have a bit of information about web mapping hex colors in this Civillo support docs. So I'm going to make that one red. I'm going to call this one stage 2. I don't really have to worry about saving anything here because it's all sort of automatically saved. Next thing along is a circle. So just to show you how that works, we're not going to use it for this, but you just click anywhere you want the circle. Again, similar to what we just showed, you can change that stroke weight, color, fill color. In the circle, you can actually adjust the radius as well. But we might just delete that. So that little X there will remove features as you're using them in a markup. Next icon along this is text. So I do want to put some text on. Let's, for some more clear communication here, let's call this stage 1. So I just clicked where I wanted the text to start off with. I typed in this little text box on the right here, and then that came up on the map. Now I can click this and drag it around. I can make this a bit bigger by making the line heights bigger. I can even rotate this a little bit if I want to sort of line it up with the alignment of the road. And I can change the color of the text too, but I won't do that. What I will do is create text on a separate area. So I'm going to call that stage 2. Similarly, I'm going to make that same size. And let's just leave that as it is. Now, last thing we can do here in the markup editor is put in symbols. So in this example, I'm just going to put in a symbol here just to represent, maybe here's my traffic management guy. So I can rotate him and I can drag him around. I can also do the same stuff with fill colors and stroke colors and all that kind of thing. So let's put him in orange for his high vis. Some other little tips and tricks here. You can enter coordinates to create these geometries and these points as well. If you have your eastings and northings or your lat longs, you can feel free to enter those in and create features as well. And then lastly, just to show here on this left-hand side, let's actually exit that markup, and that'll sort of save things for any exports or downloads. So if I click this download button, I get a few options. I get the CSV, which is going to give you the spreadsheets of the areas or lengths or coordinates that you've gone in and drawn into this markup. So in this case, some info I'd get is like perimeter and area of these polygons, and I'd also get the coordinates of my little traffic man there. Not that useful, I've just sort of put him anyway. But that can be used for things like sort of lot maps and progress tracking and things like that, especially if you draw a lot of areas. DXF, I can download this as like a CAD file with the geometries in the same coordinate system with the same coordinates as my project's using. So quite useful if you need to send this off to surveyors or designers or anyone who's working with other softwares that take in spatial data and they need to do any additional edits or use them for any purposes. And a GeoJSON is similar to spatial file. Again, the benefit of this is it retains attributes like descriptions and colors, and it's quite useful for going back into like a GIS type of software. That's pretty much it for markups. You can always delete them with this icon here. You can go back in and edit them with that little pencil icon again. And I can also drop down this measurement totals to check, the totals of my perimeters and my areas that I've drawn on. Again, useful if you're just sort of drawing a bunch of areas and you're using it to track, track takeoffs or geometries or anything like that. But yeah, I think that's sort of covered everything with markups for now. Hope you bared with me, but just feel free to get in there and have a play yourselves.